Welcome back. I'm Pratap here. Today is 27th January 2025. In this video, I'm going to generate different supply demand zone reports useful to the premium subscribers. First, I will generate the stocks for different time frames, starting with yearly time frame. Even before that, all of you please understand we are providing complete free training on supply demand zone price action. You might be knowing the cost of the training is over 8,000 US dollars and it is a complete free training. All training lessons are available at our NeoStock YouTube channel. At our channel homepage, click on the tab Posts. Some of you might be seeing the tab Community. Click on the tab. You get access to this post. This post is having a YouTube playlist link that will take you to all the training lessons. You just click on the link. Now we are into supply demand zone price action course. Here you have all the training lessons are available. You just need to scroll down to the bottom of the page. Here, starting from lesson 1.1, you need to start your training, and all these lessons are placed in an order. So please go through all these lessons one by one and strengthen your skills related to supply demand zone price action. I have also provided the link to our Telegram channel in this video description. Please join at our Telegram channel. It might be helpful to you because each time we release a new video, we are updating at our Telegram channel, and also any other important updates also we are providing at our Telegram channel. Now let's get into the report generation. For yearly time frame, let us find the stocks where price closed inside the yearly demand zone. We got 4 stocks. I'm giving you only few seconds time to watch the report. I request you pause the video, study the report, and then proceed with the next reports. In case if you does not understand the structure of the supply demand zone reports, I request you complete our training lesson 21.1. That is part 1 of lesson 21. In that video, I have explained each and every column, their values, abbreviations, everything in detail. Okay, now let's get into the next report. For yearly time frame, price closed inside the yearly supply zone. No stocks are available. Next time frame is half yearly. Stocks near half yearly demand zone. 3 stocks are filtered. Next half yearly time frame. Stocks near half yearly supply zone, we got 1 stock. Next half yearly time frame, price closed inside the half yearly demand zone, we got 10 stocks. All these are all-time high half yearly demand zones. Next half yearly time frame, stocks where price closed inside half yearly supply zone, 1 stock is filtered. Next time frame is quarterly. Stocks near quarterly demand zone, we have 2 stocks. Next quarterly time frame, stocks near quarterly supply zone, we got 3 stocks. Next quarterly time frame, stocks near price closed inside the quarterly demand zone, we got 41 stocks. Currently 41 stocks closed inside the quarterly demand zone. And the first 23 stocks in the list. I am scrolling the list down. NIFTY Bank is also inside quarterly demand zone. So currently 41 stocks are filtered. And we can further filter this list by setting the high probability parameter quarterly demand zone having quarterly EMA confluence. So let me add that filter. In the EMA Confluence filter at quarterly time frame, I am setting quarterly demand zone having quarterly EMA Confluence filter. And the EMA Confluence should be used only in the trending market but not sideways. That's why in the trend at quarterly time frame, I am selecting up or down. Let's filter. Now 23 stocks are filtered. And all these 23 quarterly demand zones are having quarterly EMA Confluence. Okay, next quarterly time frame, price closed inside the quarterly supply zone. 2 stocks are filtered. Let's verify any of these 2 supply zones are having a quarterly EMA Confluence. In the EMA Confluence, quarterly time frame, quarterly supply zone having quarterly EMA Confluence, and trend on quarterly time frame, up or down. Let's filter. So both these quarterly supply zones are having quarterly EMA Confluence. Good. So this is about quarterly time frame. Next time frame is monthly. Stocks near monthly demand zone. 10 stocks are filtered. Next monthly time frame, stocks near monthly supply zone. 3 stocks are filtered. Next monthly time frame, price closed inside the monthly demand zone. We got 53 stocks. First 18 stocks in the list, both Nifty and BANKNIFTY, they are closed inside the monthly demand zone. I am scrolling the list down. First 18 stocks you are seeing in the list. So total 53 stocks are filtered. Out of these 53, how many of these monthly demand zones are having monthly EMA Confluence? Let us filter. In the EMA Confluence monthly time frame, monthly demand zone having monthly EMA Confluence. Trend on the monthly should be up or down. Let's filter. Now the list is come down to 28 stocks out of 53. First 21 stocks in the list. Both Nifty and BANKNIFTY are having a monthly EMA Confluence. Scrolling the list down. So this is about price closed inside monthly demand zone, and these monthly demand zones are having monthly EMA Confluence. Next, for monthly time frame, price closed inside the monthly supply zone, we got 6 stocks. Let's verify out of these 6 how many of these monthly supply zones are having monthly EMA Confluence. At monthly time frame, I am setting the filter. Monthly supply zone having monthly EMA Confluence. Trend on the monthly time frame either up or down. We got 2 stocks. But both these monthly supply zones are pierced monthly supply zones. Maybe you can use pierced zone strategy concepts in this stock, in these stocks. Okay, this is about monthly time frame. Next time frame is weekly. Stocks near weekly demand zone. We got 23 stocks. First 16 stocks in the list. I am scrolling the list down. So total 23. We can further filter this list based on EMA Confluence, weekly EMA Confluence. So let me add that filter on weekly time frame, weekly demand zones having weekly EMA Confluence, and trend on the weekly time frame either up or down. Now none of those weekly demand zones are having weekly EMA Confluence. zone of trend, EMA Confluence and weekly time frame, demand zone. Weekly demand zone with weekly EMA Confluence. Perfect. Filter is perfect. No stocks. Fine. Next, weekly time frame. Price stocks near weekly supply zone. We got 6 stocks. Next, weekly time frame. Price closed inside the weekly demand zone. We got 91 stocks. First 16 stocks in the list. Quickly scroll the list down for the reference purpose. Later I will further filter with EMA Confluence. Out of these 91, how many are having weekly EMA Confluence? Let us filter. In the EMA Confluence, weekly time frame, weekly demand zone having weekly EMA Confluence, and the trend on the weekly time frame can be either up or down. With these filters, we got 15 stocks out of 89. These 15 weekly demand zones are having weekly EMA Confluence, and also the current price closed inside these weekly demand zones. Okay, this is about price closed inside the weekly demand zone and having weekly EMA Confluence. Next, for weekly time frame, price closed inside the weekly supply zone. We got 12 stocks. Out of these 12, how many of these weekly supply zones are having weekly EMA Confluence? Let us verify. In the EMA Confluence at weekly time frame, I am setting the filter. Weekly supply zone having weekly EMA Confluence, and the trend on weekly time frame, I am selecting up or down. With these filters, I got 4 stocks. So this is about price closed inside the weekly supply zone, and those supply zones are having weekly EMA Confluence. Next, let us look for daily time frame. Entry time frame daily, let us find the stocks near daily demand zone. We got 18 stocks. First 15 stocks in the list. I am scrolling the list down. So total 18 stocks. Let us identify high liquidity daily demand zones from this list. Angel 1 is having a high liquidity daily demand zone. Apollo is having a high liquidity daily demand zone. HDFC Bank is having a high liquidity zone. L&T is having a high liquidity demand zone. M&M Finance is having a high liquidity demand zone. Motherson is having a high liquidity demand zone. Polycab is having a high liquidity demand zone. Tata Communication is having a high liquidity demand zone. That's it. We have 8 high liquidity demand zones from this list. It's a big list. Okay, next. Daily time frame. Let us find the stocks near daily supply zone. We got 3 stocks. And we don't have any high liquidity supply zones from this list. Okay, next. Daily time frame. Price closed inside the daily demand zone. We got 81 stocks. First 15 stocks in the list. Let me scroll down the list quickly so that you can refer. After that, we can filter with EMA Confluence. I'm scrolling the list down. So total 81 stocks. Out of these 81, how many daily demand zones are having daily EMA Confluence? Let's verify. In the EMA Confluence at a daily time frame, daily demand zone having daily EMA Confluence, and the trend on the daily time frame either up or down. With these filters, we got out of 81, we got only 10 stocks. These 10 daily demand zones are having daily EMA Confluence, and some of these daily demand zones are pierced daily demand zones. You may apply pierced zone strategy on those pierced daily demand zones if they are applicable, having new order flows. Okay, this is a price closed inside the daily demand zone, and these daily demand zones are having daily EMA Confluence. Next, for daily time frame, price closed inside the daily supply zone, we got 8 stocks. Out of these 8, how many are having a daily supply zones having daily EMA Confluence? Let's verify. In the EMA Confluence, daily time frame, daily supply zone having daily EMA Confluence, and trend on daily time frame up or down. With these filters, we got 5 stocks. These 5 daily supply zones are having daily EMA Confluence, and a couple of these daily supply zones are pierced zones. So this is about daily time frame. Next time frame is 125 minutes. Stocks near 125 minutes demand zone. We got 19 stocks. So first 15 stocks in the list. Scrolling the list down. Okay, next 125 minutes time frame. Stocks near 125 minutes supply zone. We got 4 stocks. Okay, next time frame is 75 minutes. Entry time frame 75 minutes. Let us find the stocks near 75 minutes demand zone. We got 14 stocks. Out of these 14, how many are having a high liquidity zones? Let's verify. First one is NIFTY Media. It is not listed in F&O. I am not considering. And About India, high liquidity zone. ACC, high liquidity zone. Grasim, high liquidity zone. JK Cement is a pierced zone, so not a valid zone. Next, NHPC, high liquidity zone. Petronet is having a high liquidity zone. PVR INAX is a pierced zone. 6 times. Maybe you can look into pierced zone strategy on this stock. And Zomato is a high liquidity zone. So we have identified 6 high liquidity daily, 6 high liquidity 75 minutes demand zones from this list. I think 7 high liquidity zones, not 6, 7. Let me check. This is the first one, second one, third, fourth. No. This is pierced. Yeah, we have 6 only. Next, for 75 minutes time frame, let us find the stocks near 75 minutes supply zone. 7 stocks are filtered. Let us identify high liquidity supply zones from this list. No, we don't have any high liquidity supply zones. That means in both daily and 75 minutes, we don't have any high liquidity supply zones. We have only high liquidity demand zones from daily and 75 minutes time frame. Okay, this is about high liquidity zones. So next time frame is 25 minutes. Stocks near 25 minutes demand zone. 9 stocks are filtered. Next 25 minutes time frame, stocks near 25 minutes supply zone. We got 10 stocks. Next time frame is 15 minutes. Stocks near 15 minutes demand zone. We got 8 stocks. Let's verify how many of these 8 are having ITF Confluence. LTF, ITF demand zone Confluence. That is 15 minutes demand zone having 75 minutes demand zone Confluence. With this filter, we got all 6. And some of these stocks are pierced, you can ignore them. Okay, next for 15 minutes time frame, stocks near 15 minutes supply zone, we got 6 stocks. Let's find how many of these 6 are having ITF supply zone Confluence. That is a 15 minute supply zone with 75 minute supply zone Confluence. I am enabling that filter. We got only 2 stocks. Next time frame is 5 minutes. Stocks near 5 minutes demand zone. We got 7 stocks. Let's verify ITF demand zone Confluence from this list. That is 5 minutes and 15 minutes demand zone Confluence. I am enabling this filter. We got 2 stocks. In that second one is a pierced zone. Next 5 minutes time frame, stocks near 5 minutes supply zone. We got 8 stocks. Let's verify ITF supply zone Confluence. That is 5 minutes with 15 minutes supply zone Confluence. Enable the filter. We got 1 stock, and that too indices. It is NIFTY PSU Bank. It's not listed in F&O. Okay, this is about stocks near demand and supply zones for different time frames. Next, let us generate NIFTY and BANKNIFTY supply demand zone chain. Generating monthly supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. So this is a monthly supply demand zone chain. Always look into the zone column to find the high liquidity zones. Look into the pierced column to find the pierced zones. Always look into the LTF trend to find the trend of the current time frame you have selected. Apply the same rules for the remaining supply demand zone chain reports for different time frames. Okay, next, weekly supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Next, daily supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Next, 125 minutes supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Next, 75 minutes supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Next, 25 minutes supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. So this is the 25 minutes demand zone. I can scroll the list so that you can find more demand zones. Okay, next 15 minutes supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. All these are all supply zones. I am scrolling the list down. Here you have the demand zone. Let me put it in the center. Okay. So above all supply zones, below all demand zones. This is the current nearest to the current price, closing price. This is the demand zone and this is the supply zone. Okay. Next, 5 minutes supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. All these are all supply zones. I am scrolling the list down. This is the nearest demand zone. Let me put it in the center. Okay. So this is about NIFTY supply demand zone chain. Next we will generate Bank Nifty supply demand zone chain. That is nothing but Nifty Bank. Monthly supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, weekly supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, daily supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, 125 minutes supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, 75 minutes supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, 25 minutes supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. So this is the nearest demand zone. This list might be enough. Next, 15 minutes supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. So this is the nearest demand zone. I am scrolling the list and I will put it in the center. So that equal demand zones and supply zones. This is the nearest demand zone to the current price and this is the nearest supply zone to the current price. Next, 5 minutes supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. All these are all supply zones. I am scrolling the list down. So this is the nearest demand zone. I will put it in the center. Okay. So this is about Bank Nifty supply demand zone chain. Next we will generate bullish and bearish trade setups for monthly, weekly and daily income trades. First, bullish trade setup for monthly income trade, entry time frame daily, entry zone demand zone. In bullish or bearish trade setup, at daily time frame I am selecting bullish and zone achievement should be violated opposing zone, minimum odd and enhances score 12. Both the filters are applied to daily demand zone. Let's filter. We got 6 stocks. Currently these 6 stocks are supporting bullish trade setup for monthly income trade. Out of these 6 high probability setup related zones we can identify based on zone confluence. Already some are having high probability based on high liquidity zones. We can add even more high probability based on zone confluence. So in the in the zone confluence, demand zone confluence, I am enabling the filter daily demand zone with weekly demand zone confluence. 5 stocks are filtered. That means all these 5 daily demand zones are part of the weekly demand zone. And weekly trend is up. If weekly demand zone having weekly EMA, these daily zones could be even more high probability. Let's verify. In the EMA confluence, weekly time frame, weekly demand zone having weekly EMA confluence, because daily zone is part of weekly zone. Let's filter. We got 1 stock. So this is even more high probability trade setup supported stock. Maybe that is the reason why it is already tested 3 times. Okay, next let us filter based on LTF, ITF, HTF demand zone confluence. Removing EMA filter. In the demand zone confluence, 3 filters we have to set. This is the first filter already set. Second filter, daily zone confluence with monthly zone. Third filter, weekly zone confluence with monthly demand zone. With all the 3 filters, we got 2 stocks. Let's check if any of these stocks are having monthly EMA confluence. They are even more high probability. But second one you can't, because it is sideways. Sideways EMA confluence does not add any extra advantage. But it is a high liquidity zone. That advantage we have. So JK Cement already having weekly EMA. Let's verify it is having monthly EMA confluence. And trend on monthly should be uptrend, because it is bullish trade setup. So JK Cement is also having monthly EMA confluence, monthly demand zone. Excellent. So it's a high probability trade setup supported stock. Okay, this is about bullish trade setup, monthly income trade. Next, bearish trade setup, monthly income trade, entry time frame daily, entry zone, supply zone. In bullish or bearish trade setup at daily, I am selecting bearish. Zone achievement VOZ, minimum odd enhancer score 12. Both filters applied to daily supply zone. We got 3 stocks. These 3 are supporting bearish trade setup for monthly income trade. Out of these 3, how many are having ITF confluence? Let's verify. That is a daily supply zone with weekly supply zone confluence. I am enabling the filter. And all 3 are having weekly supply zone confluence. That means all these daily supply zones are part of the weekly supply zone. And weekly trend is down. Let us check how many of these weekly supply zones having weekly EMA confluence. In the EMA confluence, weekly time frame, weekly supply zone having weekly EMA confluence, because the daily zone is part of the weekly zone. Let's filter. All the 3 stocks are high probability trade setup supported stocks. Maybe that is the reason why all these zones except the second one is yet to test. Remaining they gave good tests. Okay, next let us look for LTF, ITF, HTF supply zone confluence. Removing EMA filter. In the supply zone confluence, first filter is already enabled. Second filter, daily with monthly supply zone confluence. Third filter, weekly supply zone with monthly supply zone confluence. With all the 3 filters enabled, we got 2 stocks. And both these stocks, these supply zones, daily supply zones are part of the weekly, both together part of the monthly supply zone. And the trend is sideways, no need to look for EMA, because it won't give any extra advantage, EMA confluence. So this is bearish trade setup for monthly income trade. Next, bullish trade setup for weekly income trade. Weekly income trade, entry time frame 75 minutes, entry zone, demand zone, bullish or bearish trade setup. At 75 minutes time frame, I am selecting bullish. And 75 minutes demand zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count at 75 minutes time, minimum value 0. maximum value 0. That means 75 minutes demand zone is not pierced. Zone achievement VOZ, odd and enhanced score minimum 12, and all the three filters applied to 75 minutes demand zone. Let's filter. We got one stock. Currently this is the only one stock supporting bullish trade setup for weekly income trade. Let's check whether it is having a LTF ITF demand zone confluence. That is 75 minutes demand zone with daily demand zone confluence. Yes, it is having. That means this 75 minutes demand zone is part of the weekly part of the daily demand zone, and daily trend is up. Let's check. This is having daily EMA confluence. Daily demand zone having daily EMA confluence because 75 minutes demand zone is part of the daily demand zone. Let's filter. So this is even more high probability trade setup. That's why it is already tested 5 times. Okay, next let us check whether it is also having HTF demand zone confluence. So remove EMA filter. In the demand zone confluence, 3 filters we have to set. First one is already enabled. Second one 75 with weekly demand zone confluence. Daily demand zone with weekly demand zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, we got this stock. That means this demand zone, this 75 minutes demand zone is part of the daily demand zone, both together part of the weekly demand zone. Let's verify weekly zone is having weekly EMA because weekly trend is up. In the EMA confluence, weekly time frame, weekly demand zone having weekly EMA confluence filter. So this is also having weekly EMA confluence, the weekly zone. Daily zone is having daily EMA. The daily is part of the weekly zone. That is also having weekly EMA. Excellent. That's why this zone is a high probability and worked for several times. Next, we will look for bearish trade setup for a weekly income trade. Entry time frame 75 minutes. Entry zone supply zone in bullish or bearish trade setup at 75 minutes. Selecting bearish. 75 minute supply zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count at 75 minutes time frame, minimum value 0, maximum value 0. Zone achievement violated, opposing zone, minimum odd and enhanced score 12. All 3 filters are applied to 75 minute supply zone. We got 21 stocks. First 15 stocks in the list. All these are all supporting bearish trade setup for a weekly income trade. And entry time frame is 75 minute supply zones. So first 15 stocks, I am scrolling the list down. So total 21 stocks are filtered. Out of these 21, 75 minute supply zones, some are having high liquidity zones. Apart from that, we will also further filter based on zone confluence. First filter LTF ITF supply zone confluence. That is 15 minute supply zone, 75 minute supply zone with daily supply zone confluence. I am enabling the filter. So with this filter, out of 21, we got 16 stocks. So first 15 stocks in the list. So total 16. So in all these 16 stocks, these 75 minutes demand zones are part of the daily demand zone. And the daily trend is down in all these stocks. Sorry for the mistake. These 75 minutes supply zones are part of the daily supply zone. And the daily trend is down. So now let's verify how many of these daily supply zones are having daily EMA confluence. So in the EMA confluence, daily time frame, daily supply zone having daily EMA confluence filter is enabled because 75 minute supply zone is part of the daily supply zone. Let's filter. We got 8 stocks. So these 8 daily supply zones, these 8 75 minute supply zones which are part of the daily supply zone or even more high probability trade setup supported stocks. Next, let us verify LTF, ITF, HTF supply zone confluence. I am removing this EMA filter. In the supply zone confluence, we should set 3 filters. First filter is already enabled, 75 with daily. Next, 75 minute supply zone with weekly supply zone confluence. Daily supply zone with daily supply zone with weekly supply zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, LTF, ITF, HTF, supply zone confluence, we got 4 stocks. In these 4 stocks, these 75 minute supply zones are part of the daily supply zone. Both together again part of the weekly supply zone, and weekly trend is down in the second, third and fourth stocks. If any of these 3 stocks are having weekly EMA confluence, they are even more high probability trade setup supported stocks. Let's verify. In the EMA confluence, weekly time frame, weekly supply zone having weekly EMA confluence, and trend on weekly should be downtrend, bearish trade setup. Let's filter. So we got all the 3 stocks. They are even more high probability trade setup supply zones. That's why look into the first one and third one. They are already tested 3 times. Okay, next, this is about bearish trade setup, weekly income trade. Next, daily income trade, bullish trade setup. Entry time frame is 15 minutes. Entry zone is demand zone. In bullish or bearish trade setup at 15 minutes time frame, I am selecting bullish. And these 15 minutes demand zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count parameter at 15 minutes time frame, I am setting minimum value 0, maximum value 0. Zone achievement VOZ, minimum odd enhancer score 12. All 3 filters are applied to 15 minutes demand zone. We got only 1 stock. Currently, this only 1 stock is supporting bullish trade setup for daily income trade, and entry time frame is 15 minutes demand zone. Let's verify out of these, this 15 minutes demand zone is having any high probability further based on zone confluence. So in the LTF, ITF demand zone confluence, checking 15 minutes demand zone with 75 minutes demand zone confluence. With this filter, this is filtered. Let's check if this 15 minutes demand zone, because 75 minutes trend is uptrend. Let's verify 75 minutes demand zone is having daily EMA confluence. At 75 minutes time frame, 75 minutes demand zone having daily EMA confluence with this filter. So this is a high probability, even more high probability, because it is having even daily EMA confluence. 15 minutes zone is part of 75 minutes zone. That 75 minutes zone is having daily EMA confluence. Let's check whether this stock is also having a HTF demand zone confluence. Removing EMA filter. In the demand zone confluence, 3 filters we have to set. First filter is already enabled. Next, 15 minutes demand zone with daily demand zone confluence, 75 minutes demand zone with daily demand zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, we did not. That means the zone is not having HTF zone confluence, only LTF and ITF zone confluence and ITF EMA confluence. Okay, next, this is bullish trade setup for daily income trade. Next, bearish trade setup for daily income trade. Entry time frame 15 minutes. Entry zone supply zone. In bullish or bearish trade setup at 15 minutes time frame, I am selecting bearish. These 15 minute supply zones should not be pierced. So in the pierced count at 15 minutes time frame, I am selecting minimum value 0, maximum value 0. Zone achievement violated opposing zone, minimum odd enhancer score 12. All 3 filters are applied to 15 minute supply zone. Let's filter. We got 26 stocks, and all these 26 stocks are supporting bullish trade setup for bearish trade setup, not bullish, bearish trade setup for daily income trade, and entry time frame zones are 15 minutes supply zones. So first 15 stocks in the list. I am scrolling the list down. Okay, out of these 26, some of the supply zones are high probability based on high liquidity zones. Apart from that, we can further add, look for high probability based on the zone confluence. First filter is LTF and ITF supply zone confluence. That is 15 minute supply zone with 75 minute supply zone confluence. I am enabling the filter. With this filter, out of 26 stocks, we got 20 stocks. That means in all these 20 stocks, these 15 minute supply zones are part of the 75 minute supply zone. So first 15 stocks. I am scrolling the list down. And all these 20 stocks, the 75 minutes trend, ITF trend is down. And 15 minute zone is part of the 75. And if the 75 minute supply zone is having daily EMA confluence, there are even more high probability trade setup supported stocks. Let's verify. In the EMA confluence, 75 minutes time frame, I am setting the filter. 75 minute supply zone having daily EMA confluence, because 15 minute supply zone is part of the 75 minute supply zone. Let's filter. We got only one stock. So this one stock is even more high probability trade setup, 15 minute supply zone, because 15 minutes is the entry time frame. This 15 minute supply zone is part of the 75 minute supply zone. That 75 minute supply zone is having daily EMA confluence. Next, let us look for LTF, ITF, HTF supply zone confluence. I am removing EMA filter. In the supply zone confluence, we have to set 3 filters: 15 minutes, 75 minutes, and daily supply zone confluence. First one is already enabled. Second filter, 15 minute supply zone with daily supply zone confluence. Third filter, 75 minute supply zone with daily supply zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, LTF, ITF, HTF, supply zone confluence, we got 5 stocks out of 20. Because 20 stocks are having LTF and ITF supply zone confluence. In the 20, these 5 stocks only having LTF, ITF and HTF supply zone confluence. That means these 15 minute supply zones are part of the 75 minute supply zone. Both together again part of the daily supply zone. And daily trend is down in 3 stocks, second, third and fifth. If any of those 3 stocks are having daily supply zones with daily EMA confluence, then these 15 minute supply zones are even more high probability trade setup supported stocks. Let us verify. In the EMA confluence, daily time frame, I am looking for daily supply zone having daily EMA confluence, because the 15 minutes together with the 75 minutes part of the daily supply zone. Now let me verify. Even trend also let me set, and daily time frame should be downtrend because it is bearish trade setup. So all the 3 stocks are filtered. That means these 3 are even more high probability trade setup supported stocks. So this is about bearish trade setup, daily income trade. And in the final report, let us generate stop buffers based on daily ATR. So this is the daily ATR. First 17 in this list indices, remaining all are equity stocks. So I am scrolling the list down. Whichever the stock you want to refer, there you pause the video. After that you can proceed. Okay, I am scrolling the list down. So this is the end of the report. Hope this information will be useful to you for your further study and analysis. Let's all meet again in our next video. Thank you.